welcome to the Pokemon Origins trivia video. I have just gotten all of the questions from Summer, so I haven't read them yet, but we will read them live together on this film. It's not live. And if you happen to have seen my Pokemon tag video, you know how this is gonna go. All right, question 1. Its tongue is made of gas. If licked, its victim starts... How do you lick something with a gas tongue? I don't understand. Its victim starts shaking constantly until death eventually comes. Why would you want one of these things? Write down your answer. All right, question 2. This Pokemon wears the skull of its deceased mother. Its cries echo inside the skull and come out as a sad melody. These are morbid. Like, who comes up with this stuff? All right, did you write your answer? It's time for number 3. This Pokemon stores electric energy under very high pressure. It often explodes with little or no provocation. I know some people like that. Did you write down your answer? Okay. Question number 4. This Pokemon is incredibly slow and dopey. It takes 5 seconds for it to feel pain when under attack. This Pokemon puts enemies to sleep and then eats their dreams. Occasionally gets sick from eating bad dreams. Well, that's its own fault for eating dreams. I mean, really? So is it like a skull sucker? Like it's... This Pokemon's body is soft and rubbery. When angered, it will suck in air and inflate itself to an enormous size. So a pufferfish? This Pokemon's hooves are 10 times harder than diamonds. It can trample anything completely flat in little time. So it's an elephant wearing diamond tap shoes. This Pokemon, if it is unable to find food, will absorb nutrients by swallowing a mouthful of sand. How is that helpful? I feel like all these other things are like attack things, and this is not an attack thing. This is it eats sand. It's useless. In the distant past, this Pokemon was somewhat stronger than the horribly weak descendants that exist today. Apparently I can't keep track of the numbers, but the very last question, if you're following along, there should be a total of 10. So the very last question. In battle, this Pokemon flaps its wings at high speed to release highly toxic dust into the air. So there you go, write down all of your answers and we will find out how many you got right. Hey campers, how did you do? Those were all entries from Pokedex. Most of them are from red or blue. I think there were a couple maybe from yellow, but they are all actual Pokedex entries that came with the Pokemon game. Feel free to give yourself a whole point if you get the correct Pokemon, and give yourself a half point if you had the correct evolution chain, but not the correct Pokemon in that chain. So like if you had a Wartortle, but it was actually just a Squirtle. You know, something like that. Okay, question number 1. Who is the Pokemon with his tongue made out of gas? That is Haunter. Number 2, wearing the skull of your dead mother, is Cubone. Number 3, an electric Pokemon that explodes with no provocation is Electroid. Number 4, very slow and dopey, 5 seconds to feel pain, is Slowpoke. Little hint is that it's slow. Slowpoke. The next one, putting enemies to sleep and eating dreams, is Drowsy. Then we have the kind of Kirby-esque in sucking in air when it becomes angered. That's Wigglytuff. If you have hooves that are 10 times stronger than diamonds, you are Ponyta. And if you are unable to find food and you swallow a bunch of sand, you are a Krabby. The Pokemon whose ancestor was much stronger than its current form is Floppy Mr. Magikarp. And finally, the Pokemon that whips up a bunch of toxic dust with its wings is Butterfree.